All right, Jake Roos, we are barking. It's dark. Um, I'm in South Florida. I don't know. I don't even know how I feel about being here. I'll
It
be honest.
doesn't look very dark where you are, I gotta say.
Well, I mean, I brought my ring light. First of all, I checked the bag for the first time since my honeymoon.
Oh, I'm
I'd say
sorry to hear that.
it wasn't a bad experience, other than the fact that I forgot how heavy a damn check bag is. It's so heavy, dude.
Cumbersome to get through an airport with, I find too.
Yeah.
I mean, like, to get it from your car to the guy to drop it off, it's not enjoyable.
Really glad I decided to take the red eye out on Christmas night. That was a good move on my part. I don't make very many good decisions. That was one of them, because apparently, I don't know if you saw the videos of Atlanta, of Hartsfield International Airport on Monday or Tuesday morning. But wow, I know there were some missed flights that day. 100%.
Yeah. Well, how was the airport? I mean, I've never flown out on Christmas night. How was that? What was that like?
Security was a little slow because they were understaffed, but there weren't a ton of people going through there. It was kind of stress free. It wasn't one of those I'm in a 1,000,000-mile long line and I really need this to go fast. I had plenty of time. Obviously, anytime it cuts into my Delta Sky Club time, I kind of miss out, especially when I get that B gate, when I get that and get to go to the B terminal. Yeah, that's the best one. Feels like a party in there. Feels a little bit like a party in there.
The granddaddy of them all, man. It is so nice in there, man. I could live in there.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be a great time. I'd probably die in a short amount of time. Cirrhosis of the liver would probably set in pretty quick. But yeah, and then flying out, I think we had about 20 to 25 empty seats on my plane, so I got upgraded to first class, which was incredible. Very, very smooth. Funny thing is, I've gotten a chance to fly first class 3 times in my life. I upgraded twice and paid for it once. I paid for it once with miles to go to Puerto Rico, 3-hour flight. So it was definitely nice. It was cool. Very much enjoyed it. It was me and my wife. We had a great time in there. Second time, or the other 2 times, were just like less than an hour and a half flights. So didn't really get the full first class experience, but anytime you get in there without having to pay for it, I think it's a bonus.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you needed the extra drink on the way to Miami too after the Sky Club.
3 drinks. 2 before we took off, and then it was a little turbulent in the air, so they could only get around to give me 1.
2 before you got off the ground, huh?
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Yes, I didn't even have to. I didn't even have to pour a Delta Sky Club drink into a coffee cup to sneak onto the plane because I knew I was going to get drinks on the plane. So, that's how it goes.
Miami's a cool town, though, man. I mean, I like it. I mean, I think it's now you're staying though in Fort Lauderdale, right?
We are in Fort Lauderdale, but this brings us to a very important question.
I did not expect that banner.
Brings us to a very important question. I think it does a little bit. It's pretty. Don't get me wrong. It's very unique. It's obviously you can just throw a rock and find some good food, and everybody knows you and I love good food. I love good tequila. The place we went last night, I don't even want to butcher the name. It was Lona Cochina, I don't know, whatever, something, taqueria type place. Went with myself, Palmer, Connor Riley, Jordan Hill, Seth Emerson, and Mark Weiser. We all went out, and they had 150 different types of tequila. Now, this was in Fort Lauderdale, but we spent the day in Miami. Went to Puerto Sawa, which is a really nice Cuban restaurant.
Okay.
Jake, man, let me tell you, dude, all of this looking down at Waze, and it's like 7.5 miles, 33 minutes.
Oh yeah, sure.
I have a hard time with that.
Sure. No, I get it. I get that for sure.
Not good on my heart.
That is one of the big downsides. I've only ever been there for like recruiting stuff.
Right.
It's interesting because I was thinking about this before we were doing this. I've never been to a bowl game. I've been to the national championship, but I've never gone to a postseason bowl game, primarily because when we were doing that, I was normally in San Antonio for the Army, or the Adidas game, whatever it is now. And so I've never had the experience. Now you did Orange Bowl just a couple years ago. I mean, how was it? First off, is Hard Rock any good? And second of all, I know you've told me, I mean, I know Rose Bowl it probably doesn't compare to, but How does Orange Bowl stack up? I mean, how do they treat you down there?
That trade is pretty good. I mean, the whole media setup isn't quite what it is at other places. There's plenty to do, but it's like kind of a small room. Let's see. I've done Rose Bowl, Sugar Bowl, Orange Bowl, Peach Bowl, and 3 national championship games.
What are you missing out of the Big Six then? The Cotton Bowl,
Cotton and Fiesta.
Oh man,
Cotton and Fiesta
would be cool.
I hear the Cotton Bowl is like the best setup for media. But I'll say the Peach Bowl, the Westin Peachtree Plaza kind of sucks. It's just kind of, they really, in terms of a hotel that has that kind of cachet and all of that, they need to go in and update that place a little bit, because in terms of your actual room, it's down there. Media room, amazing. Listen, that's what we end up judging these places on, because we're looking for a place to hang out and kind of do things and stay on the reservation a little bit. Orange Bowl is nothing really to write home about. It's better than the Sugar Bowl in terms of the media setup. Obviously, Miami doesn't really compare to New Orleans in a lot of ways, because New Orleans is so much more compact and it's easier to get, where you don't have to rent a car to go to New Orleans. Yesterday, I spent 3 hours on the road getting to all the different places we went. Because here's the thing, like you're in South Beach and you go to a restaurant, you walk down to the beach, you get a little gelato like we did yesterday. Then you drive kind of to what I believe is West Miami, to the signature FBO, fixed base operator, where Georgia landed at the Miami International Airport. We do that whole thing, and you're thinking, oh man, I remember we passed some of this coming up here. I'm probably halfway back. No, you're not. You've still got 42 minutes to get back to the hotel. It feels like everything is 40 to 45 minutes away at all times.
So I up here where I live, we get a ton of people from Florida. It's like I would bet it's better than 50% of the population of my hometown is Florida or better. And the thing I hear from those people, they're leaving in droves, especially the people who grew up there. The thing that I hear about it is consistently that things that used to take like 15 to 20 minutes now take an hour to get around. And people just can't deal with it, man. And I understand that. I mean, I get it. And maybe it's not so bad for the New Yorkers who are coming down, because they're used to that kind of thing. But I mean, that's what's happening, is the New York people are coming to Florida. The Florida people are coming to North Georgia.
And I'll also say that right now in December, it's hot. It's hot as balls outside.
How hot are we talking?
Dude, we went down to the beach yesterday, and I was like, guys, I'm burning up. Like I need to find some shade. I'm ready to go sit in the car. It was warm, bro. It was very warm. But we went down to there's this kind of, I can't remember the name of the street, but there's a street down there where it's basically the whole street's like a mall, where it's kind of just shop after shop, and went down there, got a little lemon pie gelato. Saw some interesting things. There's like it was amazing. There's like this outdoor patio type Italian restaurant. I will not be going back, because I'm not going back to Miami. I'm a Fort Lauderdale visitor the rest of my time here. Maybe a little Hollywood, may go to the Guitar Hotel.
No stone crab, huh?
No, I'll eat stone crab somewhere else. They've got it all over the place down here. I'm not like you. I don't need my Joe Stone Crab and Cristal in the same meal. Okay?
Yeah, that's typically what I'm expensing the company for.
That's right. Hey, listen, I was talking about the Guitar Hotel. We probably need to talk about our partners over at Game Time. And listen, Game Time, we're a little limited on what we can do as far as graphics right now, but I've just got to tell you about Game Time. It is the most simple, intuitive, incredible app to find tickets. Listen, I got my Dave Chappelle. I haven't got them yet, but I'm getting them later today. Going to purchase my Dave Chappelle tickets a little bit later on today. I've already used Game Time a few times, so I cannot use promo code DAWGS Dogs to get 20% off of my next purchase, but you can download the app, use that, and you'll get $20 off of your first purchase. Terms apply, but you need to use that thing because it's so easy to get around. It's so easy to see where you're going to see the game or see the event from. It's incredible. And the thing I like about it is everything is smooth. Everything is easy. It's not one of these things where you have to click a bunch of different buttons to find out what your final price is. They give that to you quickly. We love Game Time. We use Game Time. Wouldn't talk about it if we didn't. And we definitely appreciate those folks for partnering with us on Bark After Dark for the Georgia show and everything else. But go to it, download the app or go to gametime.co. Use promo code DAWGS for $20 off of your first order. Again, terms apply there, but come check it out. Get your Orange Bowl tickets. NFL regular season's closing down. Get those too. Game time's where you need to be. All right. Hey, how was your Christmas, by the way? We've talked to, I feel like we did this a little ass backwards, which is the story of our lives.
Yeah.
But, how was your Christmas? What was your best gift?
It was pretty good. I had a pretty good Christmas. I didn't do much. I did my traveling for Thanksgiving, so I went down and saw my dad. So I was just at my house. Went and hung out with my mom and the family. Best gift, that's a tough one. I'll tell you what's an interesting gift. One I'm kind of having to wrap my head around. My mom got me some of those Birkenstock clogs, like the potato shoes they call them, back in the day. And she's like, dudes are wearing them now. And I was like,
are they the slide-ins?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So she said guys are wearing them, and I've never known that. I always thought of middle school girls as the primary consumer of that product, but I got them. I wore them, man. They're comfortable. I can't hate on that. It's gonna be a unique look. I think it's gonna take some time. I think people are gonna think I smell like patchouli oil when I wear them, but that'll be fine too. So that was an interesting one. I would say probably, though, the best gift I got, maybe my mom got me an attachment for my KitchenAid mixer so I can do the pasta. So I got a pasta maker. I'm excited to play around with that.
We'll get you a little semolina flour.
Absolutely. No
Throw
question.
down, baby.
Yeah. I'm going to do.
How versatile is that thing? Does it just make like linguine spaghetti type stuff or fettuccine type stuff, or can you? I mean,
you can do sheets. You can do lasagna sheets.
Okay.
I'm already. One of the other gifts I got was my mom got me a dumpling mold, and so you put your wrappers in it and you squish it down and it crimps your dumplings for you.
Nice,
like Asian dumplings.
I'm going to say this wrong, but does it make cavatappi, whatever that stuff is? The swirly macaroni noodle.
Yeah.
Let's find the most complex thing we can make.
It does not. It does not. It says easily makes fresh pasta sheets, spaghetti, and fettuccine noodles.
We need to call these people, see if they'll sponsor us, and we'll just get you to make us some pasta on the air.
Yeah, there you go. I'm excited to play around with it, though, and I'm excited. Honestly, I'm going to make some dumpling wrappers.
There you go.
It's going to be my first project, I think.
What are we going to put in the dumplings?
I'm thinking a little bit of ground pork, maybe seasoned up with some hoisin for the Asian barbecue lovers' delight. And maybe some spring onions and some carrots, maybe.
One thing I feel like we, as long as you and I have been friends, one thing I feel like we've always done a good job on this podcast is, or this show, podcast, or whatever you want to call it, is we don't really do that. Hey, remember that time? A whole lot often. But do you remember that time we decided to make those ground pork empanadas and our buddy Noah had kind of cooked the pork, kind of par cooked it, and it was like it wasn't all the way up to temp. And he's got it in a bowl. He's getting ready to stuff those empanadas with it. And I'm just over there just spooning it out and eating it. Probably it's got it to about 110 degrees. I've probably got trichinosis.
Ptomaine poisoning.
Yeah, you said great. Anytime I think, listen, I was fine. It didn't kill me. It didn't even make me sick. But I'm over there eating that pork and not even paying attention to the fact that it's not even all the way cooked.
You can't play with the undercooked pork. That's not. No one needs that.
But the last case of trichinosis we had in this country was like in the 30s. Shout out Greg Poole from Bulldog Illustrated for pointing that out to me. He says he cooks his pork like 130 degrees.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Kind of a medium rare guy there.
Yeah.
No, but so I'm excited, man. I'm a big cook. I love to cook, and I got a bunch of cooking stuff. Got a new pan, got a steamer basket, a wok.
You're a fat man. Like you are just a fat man, at least at heart. I'm a fat man at heart and on the outside. When that's all I got for Christmas was cooking.
Food?
Yeah, cooking
stuff.
So I only got like 4 Christmas gifts, maybe 3. My parents got me a Cracker Barrel bacon press.
Oh yeah,
from a Blackstone. And let me tell you something, buddy. It's quality, heavy. It's quality.
Yeah.
And they got me one of those cast iron basting things with a brush that you can kind of sit on the grill and basically cook something in it. You can cook like a little gravy in it or something, get it to thicken up. And it comes with a handle, like with a rubber handle that you can put on there and pull it out and use the baste or whatever. I've never really gotten anything hot on the grill to do those things with, but you can cook directly into it. And I had to get new deflection stones for my Kamado Joe that breaks. But my best gift, my number one gift, shout out Layla, my 16-year-old daughter. She got me a wooden. It's really nice. I don't know where she got it. Probably Tuesday morning or something, because she's sharp. She knows how to shop. She got me this wooden case of hot sauces. There are about 10 different hot sauces in there.
Okay.
Some really hot ones. I haven't tried them yet, but some that are rated very high on the Scoville units. And a couple of salsa verdes in there. I'm really, really excited to get back to those and to cook some huevos rancheros and get going.
I'm not excited to get home to my family. I'm excited to get home to my wooden box of hot sauces.
Yeah, hopefully they won't all be there so that I can get into my hot sauces before they get home.
You guys, I assume it was a little bit of an unconventional day for you guys, though, with you having to kick out.
Not really. We get it all. So we do a lot of Christmas. We do a lot of Christmas Eve, and then we just go hard in the morning. I mean, brunch. Dude, I'm telling you, when you got kids that young,
I bet you do a nasty brunch.
Oh, dude, I kill brunch. I'm more proud of my brunch than anything. I will say we got friends who live in Oconee County, and where they live in Oconee County, it's like 40 minutes away. And if I tell them on a school night at 6:30, hey, I'm cooking Brenner, they're probably going to show up.
Yeah,
because I do the brioche bread French toast. I am obsessive about cooking bacon the right way. No burnt bacon, no powdery bacon. Just,
biscuits?
Not typically. I mean, if I do, they're frozen.
What about gravy? No gravy either?
No biscuits. Usually not biscuits and gravy. No.
Oh, I need that, dude.
I'm getting hungry just thinking about that.
Yeah, me too. I haven't eaten anything.
Yeah, I mean, I have, but I'm getting ready for dinner here in a little bit, and I kind of want to go eat some Brenner, but I'm in Fort Lauderdale, so might as well eat some seafood. But yeah, I mean, it's another thing I like doing with another thing I just absolutely love doing with breakfast is cheese grits. I know you're not a big grits guy, but I am.
If I'm gonna have them, that's the way I'm gonna have them.
But we all know the king of breakfast, or any meal, is the knuckle sandwich at Mama's Boy.
Incredible. One of the great items on any menu out there.
Shaved knuckle ham, egg cooked to order, cheddar cheese. You like it with the apple butter. I like it without the apple butter.
I can't believe you eat. I can't believe to me, the sweetness.
I'm just not much of an apple butter guy.
We'll get some jelly or something, man. The sweetness really sets the whole thing off, man. It really does. It's a well-constructed, very thoughtful biscuit.
All right. Listen, we got to get on pace here real quick. Great Christmas. It was awesome. Let's talk about Georgia's opponent in the Orange Bowl, Florida State. I mean, listen, I'm going to give 24/7 a little bit of a shout out here. Chris Nee over at the Florida State side, Go Noles 24/7. I read a free story of his this morning. Dude, you look at the percentage of their production lost on offense, and it is greater than 70% at basically every single category. 100% of their passing touchdowns out the window.
The line is still like 16.
Yeah.
Which I can't believe. I mean, I told my dad, I was like, you need to hammer the line. Like, I mean, I can't see any way that, I mean, do you think that they're going to be competitive?
Logically, brain, no. But it's just one of those kind of, I don't know, man. Like, so Florida State and Georgia last played in 2002, or maybe it was New Year's Day 2003. Okay. Mark Richt, Georgia won the SEC championship. In some ways, a similar situation because Chris Ricks at the time was academically ineligible. I think he slept through a final, didn't get to play. They started Anquan Bolden at quarterback.
Wow.
Anquan Bolden, biceps Bolden.
Love Anquan Bolden.
Yeah, who doesn't? We all love Anquan Bolden. But Georgia controlled that game there was never any threat of Georgia losing that game, they still didn't blow them out. And I almost kind of envision a scenario like that, like that was Rick versus Bowden. And we all know that he had a lot of reverence for Bobby Bowden. So maybe that's a little bit different. Mike Norvell, I got no problem with the man. I love that cornrow Mike Norvell. It's one of my favorite things ever. But not as likable as Bobby Bowden, and who is, like there's so many dudes that are like that. With that said, it doesn't look like Brock Bowers is going to play. I feel confident saying that. He didn't get off the plane yesterday, and that's going to take me to another subject in just a second. But Marius Mims is not going to play. Maybe some other Bulldogs won't play in this game. So I don't know. I can see it.
You're going to have Carson Beck, and outside of Brock, you're going to have probably most of your top pass catchers from the season.
I wonder if Ladd's going to play, and if so, how much.
No, sure, but
if so, I will say this: he has dealt with the worst traditional ankle sprain I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, sure.
7 weeks for an ankle sprain.
If he were a horse, he would have been to the glue factory already.
Yeah, absolutely. They'd put him down for laminitis already.
No, I don't know, man. To me, if you're those guys too, this is the other thing for me, is like, if you're those guys on Florida State, like that has to feel deflating. Like like not only are you missing the production, but like it probably messes with your head that these guys won't be around. And you like, it felt like, this is like the best team you've had in years and years. And obviously you missed the playoff, and that's super unfortunate, but you had a chance, I think, to make a statement in this game and say, hey, we deserve to be there. I can't see a scenario where they can win missing this kind of production. And to me, that's what's hard to swallow about this. I feel like the game's going to suck, to be honest.
The way you put that made me think of my dad works in construction. He used to have this 5'4", 140-pound dude that worked with him, a guy named Luke McDonald. Luke has passed away since, rest in peace. Luke used to call himself a fine young Catholic boy. And Luke was a smoker, and there would be stuff going on the job site. It'd be really loud, and Luke wasn't very loud. And I was almost always working with the guy. And I cannot tell you how many times he'd be like yelling for some help to do something. And with a cigarette hanging out the side of his mouth, he'd just say, damn it, I'll do it myself. And it just get real pissed off and start doing something, just him, that he, had no business trying to do himself, end up getting body slammed by a piece of plywood or something. It would just so funny. But that's the way I feel like Florida State probably feels like right now. God dang it, we'll do it ourselves.
Yeah. You have to.
Yeah.
I don't know. And is there something to this idea? I've seen people on our message board who said it. And I think there's probably something to it, of the idea of like, is this what happens when you build a squad with a bunch of transfers? Do they not have the same? I don't know. I mean, we're so new to
it is. You're right. It's tough to know that. And I mean, you got Keon Coleman, Jared Verse are the only guys I can really think of that are. I don't know. I don't know their team as well as I should, because normally when I'm getting ready to get to know the other team in a situation like this, they've made it easy. I've been like, oh, well, I don't need to know that guy because he's not going to play. So
sure.
But yeah, I mean, you're right. It is deflating, but at the same time, all this talk of like boycotting the bowl game or they shouldn't play it, guys, all you care about is next year. I get that. This is a big part of next year for these two teams. This is a huge part of these, getting the opportunity. And a lot of teams don't use all 15, but getting the opportunity for 15 practices and several more walkthroughs to keep these guys rolling, a few months away from spring practice is massive. It's absolutely massive. And it's a very big building block, going into to next season. Listen, it's Wednesday. We don't normally jake off on Wednesday, but I think I can make time to do a little jaking off on Wednesday.
I try to jake off whenever I can.
Yeah, anytime. Take on Jake. What's going on?
All right, you got one?
I do have one.
Okay, go ahead. I'm going to think on mine.
All right, so last night we went out to eat, and I had God, we talk about food way too much on this show.
Because we're fat, dude.
You're not really fat as a person. You're just fat on the inside. And
I'm fat as a person.
Yeah. I'm a better food guy because I'm fat everywhere. So fat face, fat feet, fat hands. Everybody see the fat hands. Lobster mitts.
Yeah.
So I had crab and shrimp enchiladas last night, and it got me thinking. Crab, right? I know you love stone crab.
Yeah.
I do too. I've had stone crab before. It's great. What is your favorite crab to consume?
The answer really is,
or the best you've ever had. I should say.
Again, the answer really is any that I don't have to work for.
Okay. No snow crabs for Jake Roos.
I do not. I don't want to work at dinner. Okay. I don't want to sit down and have a meal that I have to perform tasks for. Maybe a Korean barbecue kind of situation where I'm cooking it on the table or something like that. I can get down with that, but I'm not good at it. I don't want to do it. It's laborious. I don't feel like the payoff is worth it. So what you said, the shrimp and crab enchilada, to me, that's like a perfect way to get crab. Like that's how I want it. I want it done for me. I actually, interestingly enough, I made my contribution to my family Christmas meal was I made crab rangoon dip. And I made a big cream cheese dip with a bunch of crab in it and seasoned it up with a little bit of soy sauce and some onion and garlic. It was nice. It was good. But I don't care. Crab is delicious. I like it in all forms except the form where it is still in the shell and I have to do something for it. That is way too much work for very little payoff.
Now, I agree largely, but if it's king crab, I'm probably going to work for it. And you don't have to work as hard for king crab oftentimes because you're not trying to get a tiny piece of crab out of a flimsy frozen 6-time shell mainly. So king crab, I'll work for it. And king crab's my favorite, probably my number one favorite seafood this side of oysters.
I got
you.
Both of us. I prefer shrimp.
Yeah. I like shrimp a lot too. It's very versatile. But dude, you know how I am. Mollusks. Give me all the mollusks.
Sure. You're like an otter, man. Like just sit there and crack them on your chest.
Yeah. I wish I had like a little stone chest right here. I would kill them, dude. But I can eat oysters till forever. I can eat them by themselves. I can eat them on a cracker stewed, in a stew. Drop them on the ground, rinse them off, and eat them. Like I don't care. I love oysters. They make me feel good. Like I know there's some dirty minds and probably in the comments over here going to be like, oh, I know they make you feel good, but they're loaded with like B12 and stuff like that. And you can just go eat a couple dozen.
Yeah. They're like
a couple beers and you're like, man, I feel great.
They're wildly full of protein too.
Yeah.
Like, they're just like, they're damn near a superfood in terms of like meat.
Yeah. Just no carbs. Obviously you get no carbs out of them, but yeah. But they're salty, so you get some electrolytes out of it. Maybe we're fixing the world's problems here. I don't know.
Well, I'm going to get with my buddy who owns the oyster company and see if we can get a box of these things sent our way so you and I can just have a day where we slurp those on air.
Yeah, just slurp them on the air. I'll just be over here into the...
Yeah, I'm sure people want to listen to that.
Yeah.
All right, so I got to ask you,
I love the heat.
As long as you and I have been friends, we've done, and as many, you and I have done some traveling together, but we've done very little flying together. And we've done very little, we've rented a car once or twice, but that was from the guy over at the mall that time. So
my man, Mark Narcisse.
Yeah. I'm curious though, are you a bougie traveler? Do you have, when you said security lines, like I was curious, like, do you do clear? Do you have the pre-check? Do you have a specific rental car company you go with all the time? I have these things. I'm a bit highfalutin when it comes to travel, just because I think it makes it so much easier.
Well, the fact that both of us, I believe we're probably do whatever we can to stay in Delta Sky Club for the rest of our lives probably says part of this. Sure. I do love Delta Sky Club.
I got rid of my platinum card though.
Oh, did you?
I did. I couldn't justify it. I just don't travel as much as I used to.
Yeah.
So, it's a steep fee. It's like $700 to keep the damn.
Yeah, I'm gonna get medallion status for the second year in a row. So I do travel enough. I
maybe
I just answered your question about being a bougie medallion status.
But do you pre-check all that?
Huh?
Do you do pre-check?
No, I don't actually. So I set it up. So I set it up because my card comes with like if paying for clear or pre-check shows up on the statement, they reimburse you for it.
Right.
You know. So I set up pre-check, and apparently I had to go for like kind of like an application deal over at the Ben Epps Airport in Athens, and they canceled it. Like they canceled my appointment at last minute. I guess somebody wasn't going to be there that would needed to be there. I don't know. Do you go sit in front of a tribunal for one of those things? I mean, it's probably
worth it. Getting fingerprints.
Okay. So I went and sat. So that got canceled. And I never got back around to redoing it. And then I haven't done clear because I've had a lot of people tell me clear just doesn't really make a big difference anymore.
Yeah,
because so many people do it. So I don't do that. I do love it.
You need to do pre-check.
I do. Okay.
It's
Palmer tells me that all the time. Palmer does do that. I have to get him into Delta Sky Club with my free passes. But
sure.
But you know, when you know, obviously, you know, I love a good airport lounge. I mean, Centurion Club's unreal. Love a good Centurion Club. The day after Thanksgiving, I even told my family, I was like, listen, we were in the Vegas airport, and I was like, I can't get you guys in, but I'm gonna have to go to the Centurion Club.
Did you do it?
Yeah, absolutely.
In the terminal, and
I snuck them some cookies out.
Here's the thing: if I knew somebody who did that, and knowing what I know about the Centurion Lounge, I would be so damn mad.
Well, I couldn't get them in. If I could, I would. Just because they can't experience it doesn't mean, you know, I don't need to.
Why should we all suffer? Why should we all suffer?
Daddy earned this.
Do you got a specific car rental company?
Yeah, Avis. I go through Avis.
Me too.
Yeah.
And are you a member of Avis Preferred?
I am.
Oh man, is that to me?
Yeah, go straight to the car. You can.
That may be the game changer of all the
dude. So my hack these days is my thing these days is I'll get the short timer internet if I don't already have it on the flight, but I'll get and like as we're starting to land, I go ahead and start checking Avis, and I'm like, you know, change car, refresh, change car, refresh. And dude, on the way here, I went through 7 different cars. Like I was in a 4Runner, and then I was in a 2024 GMC pickup that they had upgraded me to. Oh. But you know what I'm always looking for? That Volvo XC90.
Sure.
If I can ever get back in a Volvo self-driving XC90, because that's what that thing basically does. It drives
itself. That Tahoe was sweet though. That Tahoe we took down.
Oh yeah, yeah, the Tahoe. Smooth, man. That was actually a Yukon. The one we took to South Carolina.
You're right.
Yeah, the one we took to South Carolina was a Yukon. Was a basically a luxury, you know, floating house.
Yeah.
I had one of those. I got one of those. It was a Suburban Premier, and it was the only thing they had on the lot at the Avis in Athens. And I had one of those to go to the Auburn game. It was just me.
Oh, boy.
Just me and 8 other seats in the car. Palmer got to drive back with me. But I could just see the gas needle just moving the whole way. But sure. It was that thing was just drinking it. But yeah, well, I do love one of my favorite pastimes is just sitting there on the plane, you know, refreshing and trying to figure out what kind of car I'm going to get. And sometimes when I get there, if there's a guy in the lot kind of helping people out, I'm like, hey man, you think you can get me in something, you know, kind of cool? You think you can get me in something kind of wild? And he's like, hey, well, yeah, what do you want to be in? Show me what you want. I'd be like, hey, how about that Grand Wagoneer over there? And he's like, I can't do that. But,
yeah, sure.
I have no shame in asking.
I will tell you this. On your way home, you need to download Retro Bowl.
Yeah, Palmer plays it a lot.
It is so good, dude. I can't believe it's free. You need to get it. It's the best way I've found to burn time on a flight. It is outstanding.
Yep, absolutely.
A bit of concern washed over your face there.
Yeah, I got a text. Me and Palmer are kind of communicating on some content that has to happen for the rest of the day. We're multitasking here on Bark After Dark, but we're also done here on Bark After Dark. Special Wednesday edition. We love doing it. We appreciate everybody who watches, and come check us out next week. Probably going to be Wednesday again next week, seeing as how we've got New Year's Eve and New Year's Day all cramped there right together. I believe it'll be New Year's Day. Will be the next Bark After Dark. Is that correct?
No,
I'm saying that's what it would be.
Oh, it would be. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, but we're gonna be with you on January 3rd. on a Wednesday again. That way we can make sure and get the show in. Don't want to leave you guys hanging. And then obviously, once the holidays are in the books, we'll be back on a regular schedule and back to having guests on a normal basis. But for this episode of Bark After Dark, I'm Jake. He's Jake, and we've barked for you.
Happy New Year. Ooh.